This is a video series on setting up Job Book. If you're coming to the series from the middle, I'd recommend you start at the beginning of the series, as each video will build on the next. In the last section, I showed you how to set up your office in Job Book. In this section, we'll be talking about what line items are in general and how Job Book handles them. There isn't much to set up in this section, but this will be the basis for the following sections on labor cost line items, equipment and materials, and fixed price line items. This section should give you a good foundation of understanding on how to use and set up line items in the Job Book system. So what are line items? Line items are anything your staff keep track of. Think of timesheets or anything your company uses to invoice your customers. In Job Book, we separate line items into logical and practical categories or collections. One type of collection we call labor cost line items. Labor cost line items are line items that deal with labor, specifically labor that your company pays for in payroll or charges your customers in invoices. These line items are typically in units of hours, but can be in units of days or other units. One of the many things that is unique to Job Book is not only do we keep track of labor hours, but we also keep track of equipment and materials. And that is where the equipment and materials line items come into play. Equipment and material line items are line items that your staff input into the system to keep track of not only the equipment and materials, but also any expenses that a job incurred. For example, not only should you keep track of the equipment used and for how long, but also such things as travel expenses of your staff, hotels, really any expense associated with a job. Anything on a job that costs money to the project and or needs to be charged to a customer can be recorded and should be recorded here by staff. The final collection we have is called fixed price line items. Fundamentally, fixed price line items are line items that get added to an invoice by an administrator. They do not have labor hours directly attributed to them. Typically, your fixed price or lump sum jobs will have one or more fixed price line items on the invoice. For example, you might have a fixed price line item called topographic survey and invoice that. But your staff would still book time towards labor line items associated with the job they were doing, such as drafting or surveying. Some examples of fixed price line items are boundary surveys, legal and compliance fees, third-party charges, and so forth. It might become clearer after you watch our invoicing video in the Job Book How to Use guide. You can find a link to it in the description below this video. So how are line items used in the Job Book system? It's quite simple. An administrator will create a job and then add whatever line items are necessary to complete the job. If you're interested in how jobs are created, see our Job Book How to Use guide series for more information that covers job creation. Or click on the link below in the description to learn more. When technicians out in the field or in the office do their timesheets, they will use those selected labor cost line items to keep track of their time and will use those selected equipment and material line items to keep track of their equipment and materials used on the job. In Job Book, because we also track equipment and materials, we don't call our timesheets timesheets. We call them daily work records or DWRs. If you're interested in how daily work records work, check out the link in the description below that has our Job Book How to Use guide series. It covers DWRs and other things. When creating invoices, administrators can select from line items in the system and add them to the invoice and then bill the job to the customer. This is where fixed price line items are used. They're typically used when you're doing lump sum jobs, but can be used when doing time and material type jobs, where you would have a mix of labor costs, line items, equipment and materials, and fixed price line items. If you are interested in how invoices are created, see our Job Book How to Use guide series that covers invoice creation, or click on the link below in the description to learn more. Typically, Job Book is used to generate invoices, but best practice is to migrate those invoices to your accounting system like Xero, Sage, or QuickBooks. When migrating invoices from Job Book to your accounting system, the line items you created in the Job Book need to correspond to the line items you have in your accounting system. Job Book has an easy-to-use export tool that will allow batch invoices to import into your accounting system. If you're interested in learning more about how that is done, see our Job Book How to Use guide series for more information that covers importing invoices to the various accounting systems. Or click on the link below in the description to learn more. Equipment and materials, along with labor costs line items and fixed price items, are assigned to jobs you create. Every day, as staff record labor, equipment, and materials, you can get a real-time view of your burn on your projects based on rates you set for the job. Even if you don't bill your equipment and materials to your customers, you're paying for them as a company, and you should be keeping track of their use. In Job Book, there is a report called the Line Item Report. It's a real-time report of all the line items your company uses, including the amount you use them. If you're interested in the Line Item Report, see our Job Book Reporting Guide series for more information on the reports in Job Book and how to use them. Or click on the link below in the description to learn more. That about covers line items in Job Book. In the next video, I'm going to show you specifically how to set up labor line items in Job Book. And in upcoming videos, I'm going to show you how to set up the rest of the line item types. Hope you enjoy!